This weekend, I'm going to talk about accepting the gift of God's prosperity. Now, you might think that I would never refuse God's prosperity, and yet many times we do, in subtle ways. We think that we're not good enough, we think we don't deserve it, and therefore we cause this tremendous dam to dam up the flow coming to us. Here's what it says in Psalm 65, verse 9. It says, "The river of God is full of water." Now, you might read that quick and bypass its tremendous wisdom. This is not talking about an ordinary river. It is not talking about ordinary water. It is talking in an analogy form about how the good flows to you and how it is ceaseless unless you dam it up and stop it. Well, it can be freed again, and it can be freed and it can flow without restriction in every area of your life. Well, how do you give yourself the gift? How do you accept that gift? To obtain prosperity, I want you to think about prosperity. Think about prosperity instead of lack. When you think about lack, the majority of the time you become a magnet for lack. When you think about prosperity, the majority of the time you become a magnet for God's good, God's prosperity. Think about wonderful, motivating ideas living inside of you and efficiency in your life. Fill your mind to overflowing with thoughts of success. Know that with God, you're going to have success. With God, you're going to have prosperity. Realize that the fullness of all good belongs to you by divine birthright. You can add to this a feeling of happiness and joy. And when you add that recipe combination together, you have the recipe for abundant and lasting prosperity and a great life. Take these words to heart today and allow them to live inside of you. Despite what might seem to be less than ideal economic conditions, despite appearances of lack or limitation, fill your mind to overflowing with thoughts of prosperity and thoughts of success. Affirm in positive prayer that God is your source and God is unlimited. God is not affected by the economy. God is not affected by appearances. And know that you are connected with God. You're God's all-beloved child, and you have an all-providing God that wants to give to you, and that your own cannot be withheld from you. Now, I ask you to go beyond this initial thought and rejoice in prosperity. And in the prosperity of others. When you see it in others, you don't hold a resentment, you are giddy. You get involved with tithing. Tithing is an important thing. You will find that giving yourself away is something you can't do. It will only come back multiplied in the circulation of the river of God. So I ask you to tithe to your church and to wherever you receive your spiritual food, and know that you're going to have the return from God. There is plenty to share and plenty to spare in God's universe. You can expect to be abundantly prospered, filled to overflowing with prospering ideas, if you can give yourself the gift of accepting this. It will cause all the old blocks to be unblocked, all the old restrictions to be unrestricted, and the flow will begin. You'll be filled to overflowing happiness and joy and confidence because you know, without a doubt, you're connected to your source. God bless you, and Merry Christmas.